Welcome to International Love Story. My name is Christina, and in this episode, I would like to welcome Gabriella and Rakesh. Rakesh is from India, Gabriella is from Hungary, and they're both living in Budapest. Is that right, guys?
Yes, hi
So,
Tina.
sitting just a few kilometers away, if you see it like that, from Germany. I'm so happy to have you here today. And I can't wait for you guys to share your story. And but before we dive deeper into that, just go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Tell us all about you.
Yeah, thank you, Tina, for having us. We are really happy to be here finally with you and to talk about our story and to have a nice conversation with you. I am Gabriella. I am Hungarian. I am from a city in Hungary, in the east part of the country called Debrecen, and now we are living in the capital city. I am just finishing my studies as a psychologist, so soon in July I'm going to be a certified psychologist and finally starting to work in the field.
And my name is Rakesh. I am basically from India. I am an Ayurveda doctor by profession. So I am here in Hungary since last 5.5 years, practicing Ayurveda, giving consultations about diet and lifestyle and how to live in a holistic way and be healthy, promote your health, and get back to your health in a holistic way. So yeah, I have been here living in Hungary, and I have traveled to several countries in Europe, including Germany. So it has been a very beautiful experience for me.
I hope we're going to cover that topic as well later on, because I can imagine like going from India to Europe, that there is a little culture shock, right? Or were you able to adapt quite fast?
Yeah, it was a cultural shock because I had just seen the Western world in movies. And it was the first ever time I moved out of India to any other country other than India. And when I came here, the first impression for me was that, where are the people? What? Because India is so crowded. And I was searching for people, like, is it a holiday? What is happening? And especially on Sunday morning, I was like, my God, is there some problem going on? Are there any restrictions that we're not supposed to be out? But people then they told me that it's perfectly fine. This is just because people are resting and relaxing. So that was an interesting thing for me.
Yeah, because for everyone who's listening from the US and also from most parts of other continents, shops usually in Europe are closed on Sundays. And I think that's the case in Hungary as well, right?
At some point, they were like, many of them, they were closed, or even all of them. Right now, they are open, but not everything is open on Sunday. So few things are open.
Just a few things. Yeah. So that's quite different. I mean, I remember living in the US where you could basically shop 24/7 kind of in Miami. And that's something I'm missing in Germany. But then on the other hand, I'm also really appreciating that they use the weekends to rest most of the time, especially Sunday. So yeah, I can imagine that this was quite an adaptation for you, so that it took some time to get used to that, especially going from a country where you say like it's like there are always people on the street, it's always crowded, there's always something going on, to a country that's a little bit calm. I mean, we have been to Budapest as well the year before, by the way. Yeah, it's definitely a different lifestyle. I'm getting a little bit off topic. What I think most of our listeners are interested in is what actually brought you to Hungary.
So it's a very interesting story for me also. I was having my job in India. I was working as an assistant professor in an Ayurveda college. I was teaching. And I went to Sri Ravi Shankar ji. He is a spiritual leader, or he's a humanitarian. And I have been following him since a few years. So I just went to meet him, and then as usually I go and listen to his talk. So that time I had an opportunity to meet him in person. And I told him that I finished my studies and what should I do next? And he said, oh, I will send you abroad. Go abroad, spread Ayurveda, give talks. And then first they decided to send me to Oman. Then they said, okay, you'll go to France. And then I ended up in being in Hungary. So that is how I came here. It was the new country for me. I had heard the name of Hungary in history books, but I didn't know much about Hungary. But then I was like, okay, now I'm here. And then it was a very new experience for me, but I really liked it. I was open for all the opportunities, and that's how I was here.
So, and that was 5.5 years ago as well, right?
Yes.
So
in September
you did not...
2019.
Okay. So you did not move to India in between?
I did visit my family, but then I'm like here for work purpose now.
And how did you guys meet Gabriella?
Yeah, well, it was, I think 1 year after Rakesh arrived to Hungary that he came to my city for the first time. And he was just giving a public talk on Ayurveda and how Ayurveda looks at life and health. And then I just happened to be there with my mother. And it was very surprising that the hall where he was giving this talk was full of people, and then there were no other places. And we arrived a bit late, actually. So we arrived in the hall, and then we saw that, okay, there are no places to sit. So Rakesh and his translator, they gave their chairs to us. So we were just sitting 1 or 2 meters away from them when he was giving the talk. And actually, that's where we first saw each other and looked into each other's eyes.
So that was love at first sight, you could say?
Yes.
It was, yes. Like, I just remember that I was sitting in the first row, and then I just felt that, okay, my heart is acting in a different way. I can feel something happening, and that I have never felt this kind of presence and personality that Rakesh has. So yeah, when we talked about it later, when we got together, then it was like a mutual love at first sight.
Yeah, for me also it was very very interesting feeling that I had when I looked at her, as if I knew her, and I felt like I want to spend time with her or be with her. It was some kind of pull that I felt towards her.
So that was your thought as well when you saw her the first time. So while standing in front of all those people, your head was spinning around something else as well.
Yes.
So you got a little bit distracted, I guess, as well.
Yes, I was.
And how was it? May I ask, Gabriella, because you said your mom was with you as well. Did she sense anything? Did you talk about it later on? Or was it just like, okay, I just want to see what's going on there before I involve anyone else?
Yeah, I guess first it was just like, we just talked about our experience and how we found the whole talk and how Rakesh was. But then the next day, immediately, actually, we went for a consultation with him, personal consultation, both of us. So I have not yet shared my special experience at that time, but I guess that she could feel that, okay, something was happening. But it was not until, I think, many months or even a year later that we shared our feelings to each other, and also in front of other people. So for some time it was just kept in our heart and kind of figuring out what is happening and yeah, like making some plans how to approach this.
After the event, you guys stayed in contact somehow? So you had a little chat afterwards? Or how did you exchange numbers and everything? Like how were you able to keep in touch?
Yeah, so during the consultation, I had suggested her a workshop, breath and meditation workshop. which I conducted in the same city after a month. So she registered for that and she was there. And then after taking that workshop, then every week, then we meet and then we breathe together, meditate together. So all the people who have done this workshop, they can come together in one place. So we used to have that those sessions in Budapest. So when she finished her universities, was it university?
Yeah. Like high school.
High school, she moved to Budapest for her studies. And then because she was in Budapest, she could visit the center to come for the breathing and meditation together. And I was living in the center at that time. So whenever I was in Budapest, we would meet and just say hi, hello. And then that's it. It was after a few weeks, I think, or after a few meetings, then we exchanged our numbers. I think we didn't even exchange our number. We just were friends on Facebook. So there, then we were just writing few simple messages on Messenger.
Wow, so you really just got to know each other a little bit better, like throughout those meditation sessions as well, to see like, hey, what's the first feeling I had about it? Is there actually more behind it? And then once you've realized, okay, I wanna dive deeper into it, you exchanged Facebook names, you got in contact, I guess you wrote back and forth. Was there actually a specific point where you were boyfriend and girlfriend, like officially? Or was it more like it just went smooth from texting on a regular basis to being a couple?
Yeah, so at that time it was a bit difficult to stay in touch because as Rakesh has mentioned already, he was traveling in many countries in Europe. So his workplace was not based in Hungary. He just came back like every few weeks, or even sometimes he would be gone for a few months as well. So even when we met in this meditation center, then it was a very special time that, oh, he is here. And then finally we can at least say hi to each other and then feel the butterflies in our stomach. But then that was it. And then it just continued like that. So at that time, it was difficult to kind of spend more time together as he was not in Budapest. And yes, there was a point, I think, when we decided between each other, or between or together, we decided that, okay, from now and then we are together officially. But that was a funny story because the cultural difference came out actually, that Rakesh was already asking me that, would you be ready to get married to me, and would you be ready to move to India if that is the case? And at that time, we were not even together. So we had not even decided. And at the same time, I was asking him that, okay, then are we together? And then he didn't understand what it means to be together, because there is a whole different concept of being together as a couple or being married in India. So this was an interesting difference that came up.
Because in India, if you are together, then you get married. Or if you want to get married, only then you get together. Otherwise, you are just friends or not more than friends. So here we knew that there is something more than friends, and we wanted some more clarity. This is how then funny things happen. But in the end, we understood what exactly we wanted to ask each other, and that's how we agreed or said that, yeah, okay, let's get together.
So you found a way to communicate it in a way that you were both on the same page after all. I mean, otherwise, I think we might have had the call between India and Germany right now. So I guess you agreed on, okay, we are officially a couple now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How did it make you feel, Rakesh, may I ask? Because as you said, it's different to your culture. Was it something, I mean, it's something completely new to you as well. Was there anything that was going through your mind that told you like, hey, I don't feel like this is the right way to go, may I ask?
Yeah, it was, first of all, I knew that there is something between us. But if you know about India, then it's like you have to say to your parents that you like this girl and you want to get married to her. Then the parents would talk to her, and then parents would talk to her parents, and all this kind of things happen. So I was a bit unsure that how would I say it to my parents, and would they accept her, or would they be okay that, okay, it's a completely different culture, different religion, how will the things go ahead? But then they were open for it. So I said it to them and they were okay with it. They were like, okay, it's fine. You are going to spend your life with her. So if you are happy with her, that's enough. So that was kind of smooth, but then I was having all the difficulties and doubts in myself, that how will I present it to them, and everything was, in the end, everything was fine.
Yeah, because I mean, I've talked to couples where one part is from India and it wasn't always that smooth, but I'm very happy that your family reacted very good and was very open towards that. That they understand that you're living in another country, that your life is involving Hungary right now, that, yeah, you're in a relationship with a beautiful Hungarian woman. And I'm sure, I mean, they had the chance already to meet Gabriella, right? Your
Yes.
parents. So I'm sure they love her as well.
They do.
And then it was not an issue anymore at all. So
Yeah,
everything pushed aside.
because when we had our first video call, then at that time also they were very happy to see her, to meet her, because I had told many things about her in advance, that okay, she's like this, she's like that. And they were really excited actually to see her or talk to her in person.
Oh, because she
But
makes you happy.
yes.
Oh, this is so, oh my God, this is so heartwarming, so beautiful.
Yeah, and then my parents, they speak English, but not very fluently, or they don't have that much of practice of speaking English, especially my mom. So when she has to talk to Gabriella, then I am the translator. So that also creates some nice chemistry between all of us, because it's not just two of them talking to each other, then I am also involved somehow. Everything comes along.
How was it for you, Gabriella, to meet his parents via video call first time?
Yeah, I think I was very anxious and nervous at how it will be, and what will they say or what will they think about me. But from the very first meeting, even if it was online, I could feel that they are really open, and I felt very lucky that it felt like they have accepted me and they have been open to me, to be part of their family, not just to be the partner to their son, but to be part of the family actually. And I feel that, yeah, when we met in person, that was really adding to the whole experience, getting to know each other. Because when you meet the person in person, and if the person is in front of you, it's much easier to get connected and to get to know the other person. So I think that helped on my side of the family as well, and on Rakesh's side of the family too.
So yeah, he met your family as well, as mentioned.
Yes.
If you think back, I mean, that happened how many years ago that you introduced each other's family?
I was introduced to her mother already on the first talk, on the first evening that we met. But I introduced Gabriella to my family. I talked about her in 2019, January, I think. Or yeah, somewhere at that time, 2019, January. And then the call happened only after COVID. So we were still taking our time. to figure out that is it really going to work. It's not that we had doubts, but are we on the same page? Are we in alignment with our ideas about future? So that's what made us take so much of time, because we didn't want to make any decision based on just the feelings or strong emotions. We wanted to have proper things. But anyway, since the beginning, both of us, we had this idea that we would like to have a partner with whom we would like to live our whole life. It's not that, okay, let me see how this partner feels like, and then maybe not good, and then let me try another one. That was not our idea. So we knew that if we are thinking about someone or each other, it has to be for long term, thinking more practically. And we figured out that yes, everything is going to work, and we went ahead.
How did you figure that out? I mean, what were the questions, for example, you ask each other?
I think like from our heart, as we mentioned, we knew it from the very first meeting that this is going to work and we want to be together. But of course, there were some questions like from Rakesh that if I would be ready to move to India at some point, if that is the case, for example, for work or for meeting the family or being there for a longer period of time, because it's true that India is very different from Europe. The people are different, the culture is different. And then it was very important for him to know that if I am open for it. And then I was open for it. I was actually very excited about it. So then that was clear. And I think another thing was that if we are really ready to be committed to each other, and then no matter what happens, like maybe from our family side or from the outside world, we might be facing some challenges as an intercultural couple or because of the differences in the cultures. But are we ready to commit to each other even with these difficulties? And whatever may come up, are we ready to face them together? And I think that was a really important topic that we discussed, and that we both felt committed to each other and to the future as well.
I mean, talking about challenges, you guys, you are together since a while already, and I know not everything is 1000% smooth, especially if two cultures, two traditions, two religions are involved. What were your challenges in the past few years?
Yeah, so because we both meditate, we do breath work, we practice the techniques to calm down the mind and stay focused and stay centered. So even though we get differences, we don't get shaken by it, or we don't move away from our center, or even if we go away, then we come back very quickly. So now that we have to think about the challenges, it's not so easy because these techniques, they help us to be in the present moment also. So whatever happened in the past, it doesn't really bother us much. But we would definitely say that life is not smooth, very smooth. Like there are ups and downs, and there are difficulties and differences and challenges also. So the most challenging time that I remember was during the COVID, no? When we were, before COVID, when I was traveling, anyway, we were able to spend only few hours together sometimes, or just few moments. Sometimes Gabriella came to drop me to the airport also, so that we can spend that much time together. And when COVID started, lockdowns happened, and I could stay in Budapest because I was not traveling. And that was the ideal time for us to spend more time with each other, finally. But she was in her city and I was in Budapest, and the local transport was also not happening, I guess, at that time. Or
yeah, it was very uncertain time as COVID just came and everything was uncertain. Like everyone was kind of freaking out at what is happening, and everyone was afraid that how dangerous it is and all those things. And actually at that time, we just before that, we introduced, or I talked to my family about Rakesh. So it was also very new for them. And because universities also closed down and shifted to online, I had to move back to my city because I couldn't stay in Budapest. So at that time, it was impossible for me to come back to Budapest because, first of all, my family was uncertain and we were uncertain about the whole situation. And second of all, they didn't know Rakesh so well that they would be feeling comfortable that I come here and then I stay here. And then what if I cannot go back? So for many months, then in the beginning of COVID, then we had to be apart from each other. And that was a really challenging time. And I would say it was really heartbreaking. And it was testing our patience. It was testing our emotions and everything together.
Yeah, which is interesting because, I mean, you were in the same country at that moment. And even though, because of everything going on, you were not able to see each other. It's just so crazy to think about how much COVID had affected relationship, families in general, and even families and couples that are living in the same country or on the same continent. But obviously you managed, so you stayed strong, and luckily COVID is not such a big topic anymore. When it comes to, like, in general, that's a question for you, Rakesh, because your family is in India, you are in Europe at the moment, especially during the difficult times with the lockdown and everything going on, especially in the beginning when we all didn't know what is it, what's going on, how is it going to affect us on the long run, will our families and loved ones be well? I can imagine that this was a tough time on you as well, right?
It was not, because then I got some rest and relaxation. So I was kind of happy also that, okay, finally I don't need to travel so much. I can just take some more time for myself and get those things done which I always wanted to do. But of course, my family was also a bit concerned about me. But then they were not forcing me to come back. They said, wherever you are, just stay safe, and that's it. So that time period also went very easily. And what helped us is really the meditations which were conducted by Sri Sri Ravi Shankar on during COVID time. Every day, twice, in the morning and evening, he was conducting meditations, guided meditations online. So we joined those, and that really helped us to keep ourselves protected from all the chaos and all the anxiety which was going on in the whole world. So everywhere there was uncertainty, anxiety, fear and everything, but we could still feel that strength and calmness. So that really helped us, and it made us go through it very smoothly.
That's a tool that you have learned over years, right?
Yes.
And that's actually also something, obviously, like switching back to the beginning a little bit, that connected you, and that's still connecting you, and that's still navigating you through difficult times in order to feel centered again, or to be centered again, and to focus on the important things on yourself and to keep on.
Yeah, we really feel that meditation and breathing techniques that we practice from the art of living, they are really something which connect us in the very core, and then they keep us together, and practicing together also, we feel that it really strengthens our relationship, our commitment, and also it helps us to go through like difficulties that come up in everyday life, or like where to live, or different uncertainties, which we really don't know what is going to happen in the future. But then all these practices, they help us feel grounded, they help us feel feel centered and balanced, and then from that calm and steady mind, and we are able to make better decisions and also align both our wishes and find the middle ways in all situations.
If you think, and I'm just jumping a little bit forward at the moment, but I think that's something that fits very well to this topic. You're saying like finding the middle ground, being aligned. If you think about the next few years, where do you see yourself as individuals, but also as a couple?
Yeah, well, I think from the very beginning, our relationship is kind of defined by uncertainty and many question marks. And especially in the beginning, it was very difficult and challenging for me that I was a very much like a planned girl. I liked knowing my things, what I'm going to do, what I am doing, and how I am planning my things. Being together and being from completely different parts of the world, and then now in one place, right now in my home country, it's still like uncertain what is going to happen with us. But over the years, I have learned also with Rakesh's help how to take this uncertainty in a different mindset and how to be happy even among uncertainty. So I would say that our plan is really just for the upcoming few months. That okay, we are going to stay in Hungary for this month, but actually we don't really know what is going to happen. So I am just graduating now. I don't have any certain plans what is going to happen. Of course, we have some plans that we want to work together and we want to combine both our knowledge into something which we can give to the world, because we feel that the two fields, they really match together, and we could create something really nice for people out there. So that is definitely a plan that we want to work on a project, also working from our experience as an intercultural couple, and also from our own fields like psychology and Ayurveda, to combine these two things together and then create some nice course or project to educate people, to help people go through the challenges which we have also faced. And I think this is a exact plan which we have, but that is also not very certain.
Yes, there are certain things which we anyway have for future, not very clear, but we know in which direction we are moving. For example, as Gabriella said, that we want to help intercultural couples as a couple, and also we want to do anything and everything that will make the society more stress-free, have more people to have more smile on their face, and celebrating life itself, because people have forgotten how to celebrate the life. So we have to just remind them, and then we know that, okay, whatever goes in that direction, we are moving on that direction, but which steps we will take, it is still not certain. So we have a plan, but then it's not very clear and concrete.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that for us, what helps is that we have a common goal that, okay, we want to help others together in some way. And having this common goal gives us a direction. And each step is like figuring it out on the way, and not having exact ideas what to do. But then having this common goal really keeps us together and really helps us to walk in that direction and to work towards that.
You've also mentioned earlier, Gabriella, you've learned how to be happy even during uncertainties or uncertain times. And you've learned that not overnight, obviously. It took years. Is there like any recommendation? I mean, that question is for the both of you. Is there any recommendation you would like to give when it comes to how to achieve that, how to get there? Because that's also something I'm experiencing, and all other intercultural couples I'm talking to, is that it's not easy to stay focused, to navigate through life if there are different things basically being thrown into your direction and you have to handle it somehow all at once sometimes. At least this is how it feels like.
Yeah, I think it really was a learning over the years, and being together and being exposed to a completely different culture, and kind of like aligning ourselves together. It has really been an experience which has helped me to become much more flexible. For example, I think earlier I was not so flexible, and now all these experiences have made me realize that I cannot plan everything in my life, and I cannot always expect that things will turn out in the way that I want them to be, because maybe that's not the best for me at the moment. And even if the things they turn out in a different way, then I can still find the good things in that, or the learning points in that. So I feel that from myself, I can say that I have learned to see the things as a challenge, and also as an opportunity to learn from each and every step, or each and every mistake that we make or that happen along the way. So being flexible and seeing things, all the things, and as an opportunity to learn, and also to find the good things, and to be happy that we are walking this path or this life together, and just being happy for the moment, actually.
And also, what has helped to achieve this are the techniques, as I was mentioning, the breathwork and meditation techniques that are taught in the art of living, because these techniques, they help us to get rid of the stress. So we are not our natural being just because we accumulate stress and we don't know how to drop that. So nowhere in the school we are taught that how to handle our mind, how to handle the emotions. We learn everything else, but not this thing, how to handle the mind. So this is what we learn. There are some keys that we learn in these workshops, and then our life becomes like a workbook where we apply these points, and then we start solving everything. Life becomes much easier. Again, I'm not saying that it will be just perfect without any difficulties, but if I have to give an example, I would say that instead of fighting against the storm, we learn how to ride the waves, and then we enjoy that. Rather than fighting against it, we just sail through it, and we make life much easier and better for ourselves and for people around us also. So definitely these techniques, they have helped us tremendously. And that is why Gabriella even took this as a research project for her work.
Yeah, for my master's thesis, I was working on this breathing technique, which is called a Sudarshan Kriya, and there is a tons of research about it, but I found that I should also work on it, and really nice results came out, which we are experiencing every day, but finally it's like also in research.
I guess you do have a bunch of sources. If it's okay for you, maybe after we hang up, if you could send me like a few links where you think, hey, that might actually help as a start, as a beginner, to find the center, to be a bit more relaxed in the daily life. That would be amazing if this is okay for you, because I think this is a topic a lot of people in general, a lot of people are interested in, especially right now, because I feel like the world is moving so fast and there's so much going on, that sometimes it's difficult to navigate through it. But maybe there is one specific source you can send me that helped you a lot navigating through cultural differences and also, the backgrounds you both bring into the relationship.
Yeah,
It would
for
be
sure.
amazing.
Yeah, for sure. We can send you resources to this. And yeah, actually, on our page also, we are trying to blend these things together and then share whatever we have learned from our experience.
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to link that in the description of the podcast as well as on the description of the YouTube video, so that everyone who would like to learn more about you guys, who is interested in what you're doing, also the future project you're working on, has a way to keep in touch with you and to follow up. There are actually two things I would like to cover with you guys before ending this conversation. I mean, culture-wise, yes, two different cultures. Tradition-wise, also two different traditions that are clutching together in your case. How are you handling this? Is this something like you embrace it, you blend it, or is each of you having and following up their own traditions?
I think from the very beginning, what we have been doing is that we introduce our tradition and our culture, our holidays to each other, and we celebrate them together, and also kind of giving a taste to our families also from our partner's culture. This is what we have been doing, and our life is really, I think, a beautiful combination of both the cultures, and we can feel that we are also happy with it, and also our families, they feel happy about the way we live, and also what values we are integrating in our life, and what we want to share with others. So I think our goal is always that we should both be satisfied with the way we are living, and also we want to see our families also happy. So yeah, we are combining both the cultures.
And what also has helped us is that we see the rituals or the traditions beyond just the actions. Like, for example, in India, if we celebrate Diwali, so instead of just lighting the lamps, we see that, okay, lighting lamps means, or the hidden meaning behind that is that we bring light in our life, light of the knowledge, light of the wisdom, that, okay, the things are like in the world, everything is impermanent. There is nothing which is permanent. So everything is changing. So this is the wisdom, or this is the knowledge. So when we have this light of knowledge, then all the ignorance gets dropped, and then we are like, okay, anyway, things are changing. Why am I worried about anything? Or why am I angry about anything? Or, for example, here in Hungary, we have some celebrating name day. It was a very new thing for me. Like in India, we don't have something called as name day. And I like this concept very much, because then it makes you feel that, okay, there is some respect for your name also. Some people, they are like, okay, there is nothing good in my life, I'm good for nothing. But when people come and wish you for your name day, and they're like, okay, at least my name is good, or people are wishing me for my name. And we see the hidden meaning or the symbolism behind every ritual, and that helps us to just blend and adapt it. If we just see that, okay, this is your religion, my religion, and we have conflict with each other, then definitely it is not going to be in a good direction. But when we just drop these things and see that why it was made to be like that, and then we enjoy.
If there, I mean, you've shared a lot of advice already along the conversation we're having right now. Is there anything else you would like to share? Anything else you think whoever is listening or watching right now might find this helpful, or yeah, any piece of advice?
So when it comes to couples, or especially the intercultural couples, the difficulties and challenges are going to be there. Differences are going to be there. So first thing is, we should not fight against them. We should not sit and then, okay, let's solve this. It's not going to work for long. What we do is we just move ahead and, okay, we have differences. Okay, let's move on. That is the first thing. And second thing, which I would say, is that focusing on ourselves rather than focusing on the other person. So instead of saying that you are doing this wrong, or because of you I am feeling like this, taking the responsibility of our own feelings and emotions and trying to get back to ourselves, like calming down ourselves, or taking care of ourselves, not being selfish, but at the same time not blaming everything on the other person. So when we do that, when we focus on ourselves, then we make our presence more lighter, and then the other person has no choice than to feel good in your presence. So these are the things that I would suggest. Anything you would like to say?
Yeah, and I would again highlight this point, which I have mentioned before, that having a common goal together as a couple is really something which can strengthen you as a couple and also as an individual, because we can, of course, have our individual goals, but when you have a common goal as well, that really can bring you together to work on something together, to use both of your knowledge, to use your skills, to teach each other your skills or whatever you know. Because when you see what you can learn from the other person, then it really can strengthen both of you and you as a couple as well. And I would also say that from the beginning, I have, and I think I can talk about both of us, that we have had this faith that, okay, whatever is the best for us, it will happen. And actually, we can also have an impact on what we want to achieve together. So having this faith that, okay, we are together and then we are committed to each other, and we can move through life, whatever challenges come across the way.
Yeah, can only agree with that, especially having a common goal and working on that, and that will help you to be a little bit more relaxed here and there and to see things in a different perspective as well. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time, guys. I really appreciate that you took the time to share your story, to share your knowledge. As mentioned before, I'm going to link everything in the side notes as well as in the video description. So where to find you guys, and also, and this is something we're going to talk afterwards, which source you can recommend. So yeah, thanks again. And yeah, have a wonderful, I just had to think, but evening. Time-wise, we're still on the same page.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get confused.
Thank you so much also, Tina. It was really lovely to talk to you and share a bit of our story with you and with all of you out there who will be listening to this.
So we just want to tell you that don't lose hope. There could be some challenges. You might be on the verge of breakup or separation, but just take a step back, relax, and then see the life from a broader perspective, and you will see that you are in a very beautiful relationship.
Thank you so much. I think that's the perfect way to end this conversation right now.